It's time. Let's go. And this is Underground World News Live. Good evening. What's going on? get the mic check out the way. I think everything's good, though. Hopefully, get one in officially here out the gate. Much Love Academy. Hope, Designer, Hopkinson. Good to see everybody out there. John Boy, thank you for everything. Steve, the same. Thank you for the feedback, guys. Good to see you, MC. Wake Up America. Thank you for sharing the stream. Hoodie Ross, Daily Survival. Everyone out there that shares and cares, I appreciate it. Good to see you. Everybody who cares, Meat Puppet, Pixie. It is an early stream. Kenzie, Kenzo, Wendy, G Money, Deep Sea. Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, I had to go ahead and get the stream off here a little early for this one if we wanted to get it in. And I figured I would test the time slot anyway. So, yeah, I was just, I don't know. Some people, I have people that watch globally. So I kind of like, I got a lot of people in the UK that watch. And when we run the time we normally do, and I run 3 hours long, it's like super late for them. So I figured if we could make a little adjustment. There's Crown Jewels right on cue. Much love, my brother. I figured if I can go, we'll test it. Test the time slot out here. If I can knock out the stream from 8 to 10, or if we got to go longer, it'd be like 8 toward 11. But at least it's a little bit better for those around the world trying to get it in. I hear it all the time, and tonight I had to switch it up. So, and greetings, Bahamas. Wish I was down there with you. Never been, would love to see it. Before checkout time, Lowrider sliding in. Can't wait to see you again as well, brother. Thank you for gifting those memberships. G Money, John, everybody that got them, welcome to the underground. Appreciate it to the fullest. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's going to take a minute for people to catch on. Obviously, it was unannounced. Well, I did put a tweet out on it, but yeah, this is official. We'll try it right here. So far, so good. Everybody liking the feedback. So I'm liking the feedback, right? So Frank, thank you for the super chat. Maybe Skeeby, I think I seen earlier. As always, man, appreciate it to the fullest. Anyone else out there that hits me with a super chat, PayPal, coffees, any of that, support the channel. It's appreciated more than you know. Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. And make sure to follow me on X as well over there for breaking news. So you guys are saying good with 7. So I'm guessing that you guys are central. No, I don't have you blocked, Hopkinson. You said that before, and I unblocked you, and I surely have. I haven't blocked you since. So, so that makes no sense. But then the craziest stuff happens to me and my stuff. I get my own mods, get demodded or blocked and stuff. We've had the craziest stuff happen. There's no way it should happen, but I don't know if for real, if something's up, let me know. Just email me. I'll go to correct it again, but there should be no way. Haven't blocked nobody in a minute. So, yeah. But if somebody wants to slide here talking and disrespecting mods, you got the band hammer. Don't be afraid to use it. The rules around here are simple. You're free to say and think whatever you want, long as you're not threatening someone and being just totally disrespectful, negative, and all that crap. So it's not a lot to ask for. I keep it clean myself as much as possible, with no cussing as best I can. Every now and then, if one slides out, it's punctuated and meant to be. So, but for the most part, yeah, just trying to spread the message out there. And God bless you as well. Much love. All right, so we got a lot popping off, as always, and gonna dive into this and just hit on this story after story. This is kind of a newer story, happened overnight. In case you missed it, the Gentile Messiah, Donald Trump, he has made it to Davos, but before he got there, there were some issues, some technical difficulties, so to speak, with his flight. Air Force One had to make a sudden U-turn. It returned to D.C. They say that it was electrical issues. He had to switch planes and I guess split up his posse. He took a big armada with him of people out of his administration to Davos, to this World Economic Forum. And if he was anything that he ever claimed to be in the past, they should have surrounded the place and had everyone arrested. But of course, that's not going to happen because it's all show, all puppet show. And, you know, he goes over there and puts on a speech, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. And everything that's happened at Davos, because it does have some ramifications and effects on what happens here globally. Of course, all the talk of war threatening to invade countries that affects the markets. And all I knew is I've seen a lot of weird stuff with the Air Force Ones here, just as Trump's been president. Plus, we've seen a lot of incursions down around Mar-a-Lago. We've seen a lot of flights that invaded the airspace, the NOTAM, around Mar-a-Lago for pretty much no reason. It's happened like over 30 times. That's a lot. It's a lot. So, you know, cats know when they're flying out there, you know, where these NOTAMs are, and they know where Mar-a-Lago sits. It's no secret to anyone down there in Florida for sure. But anyhow, Trump over in Davos, and again, I'll touch more on that here in a minute. But we've got another semi-breaking story. We've got 3 Midwest tourists that were vacationing in Florida that were stalked and gunned down by the man you see on the right here. Really, it is a media blackout. No one's really talking about it, and they should be. This Ahmad Jihad Bourget. He was previously arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, but he was acquitted after an insanity plea. Well, you better know your neighbors. Do some research on them. Because this is what's crazy about this one. The men went and rented a property, and this guy was the next door neighbor at that property. And they say pretty much this was random. The victims, Robert Kraft, 69, his brother Douglas Kraft, 68, and their friend James Pukin, 68, were on a guy's trip attending a car show in Kissimmee in Florida over the weekend when this guy decided to murder them. Yeah, according to the reports, the 3 men were waiting for help after troubles with a rental car when he approached them and fatally shot him. So he just ran up on him and shot him. There was no known interaction between the men and the individual prior to this. And it's insane, man. We keep seeing these senseless murders left and right. That's what this is. Last week, I was telling you a guy was down there just doing his gardening in his yard, and a guy come up and executed him. Like point blank range for no reason. And again, like a migrant situation. Man, these people are not here to assimilate. And it's just bad news, man. Sad. R.I.P. gentlemen. No one wants to lose friends, family, or their own life just down vacationing I mean, senseless, completely senseless. Just walked up and murdered him. So I don't know. It pays to be strapped. I'm telling you, at all times. This is not the world we used to live in. This is not the world we grew up in, for sure. It's not the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. None of that. It's long gone in the rear view, and things are changing quick. Quick. Depending on where you live and what's going down, things have been changing quick. So, yeah, not much talk about that one. Look at this one. 5 severed human heads discovered hanging on a beach. And this is an apparent warning from the cartels. So 5 severed human heads discovered hanging from ropes on a beach in Ecuador. Authorities said the gruesome scene appeared to be linked to all this gang violence and everything that's going on with the cartels. So the more you see stories like this, it makes me think, because I watch the news constantly and I feed through these stories, I've noticed a trend of like, and it started down with Mexico. They'll start with stories like this, where like Ecuador all of a sudden has slipped into the news line, just like Venezuela was, just like Cuba has been here recently, just like Greenland was. And before you know it, there's an escalation, or Trump's turning his guns toward that place, and Ecuador is right there in Central America. He's basically like the Reaper, going door to door knocking. Trump is. And like, you either are bowing down to the beast. Seriously, you're bowing down to the beast, America, and doing what they want. Or if you try to stand against them, they're going to say you're running drugs, you got gangs, which all these countries got a level of drugs and gangs, like what country don't? But these, Venezuela, Colombia, known for its drugs, Ecuador, the gangs, all that stuff, it's big time. So, they may save Mexico for last here. Kind of makes sense militarily. But if your enemy is really building up there, like Mexico and China, and the enemy is really there, like, I don't know, it's all fraudulent if you ask me. Enough people have slipped into this place. It's like the Trojan horse from back in the day, where they slip this big horse in, and there's troops hiding inside of it. Overnight, they come out, they start killing everybody. Well, it's kind of like that. These guys have slipped in, like millions of them, millions and millions. And now ICE running around here like they're Superman, throwing guns in everyone's face. It's getting really bad. Man, I've never seen the stage set for civil war here like this. But again, Mexico, I think it'd be last, but Ecuador, I think is going to be in the crosshairs. So when I see these news articles pop up like this, we'll see what happens from here if they keep popping up. But I mean, why would he not check them? Okay, you have to understand something about Trump right now. He's going around the entire Caribbean, the entire Gulf, the entire freaking hemisphere, and he's checking everybody like a boss. Okay, seriously. And it starts with being very, I always call it strong arming, because he does it in real life. He'll go to shake their hand and he'll yank them back and forth. It's the same thing. It's the physical concept of it. But he threatens. He rolls up and he threatens everybody, just like he did Greenland with war. And as you're going to see, I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag here. He done said with Greenland that no, he's not going to use military force. He'd never use military force, and kind of like walk that whole thing back, but says that we've got some kind of agreement in place, like the framework and all this. And again, we're going to get into that here in a minute, but I don't know, severed heads out there hanging. Warning signs, man. Guys are pissed. I'm not going to show the images because they're graphic, but you get the point. All right, up to space real quick. We've got a geomagnetic storm that had been underway. Okay, we were at G4, and luckily, this whole thing it really kicked up to the north around the Arctic Circle, and really didn't come down this way. You never know where the ring's gonna flare up. But there was auroras across the country. As I always say, if you guys caught any, I'd love to see them. Let me know, dabu7@yahoo.com. I'd love to share them, get them out there, start the stream off with some shots. But yeah, with the sun active, look at that sun. That sun is littered with sunspots. Big time. You have a lower band and an upper band. The upper band were 4350 and 4347 in these all up here are. And the lower band down here, if any of these were to fire off big time activity, it's coming right at us. So luckily, the last one that popped off didn't hit X flare, but it was close, M3. And we'll just sit back and we'll wait and we'll see. Kind of like Russian roulette. But imagine walking outside and looking up at the sky and seeing this. Look at that explosion. It's one thing to like see some colors in the sky, but wow. To see it pulsating and dancing around, exploding and all that, that's wild. That's a treat right there, man. That's just absolutely beautiful. Mother Nature, God's energies at its finest right there on display. It's crazy. Is all that same beautiful energy is the same thing that could put the grid out. But yeah, man. On to earthquake updates real quick. And much love, John. If you guys are out there and you're affected by any of this stuff, please let me know. Don't be afraid to email me a link to a story, something going down in your neck of the woods. Now, let me start off here. I'm going to start off over here on the East Coast. I want to point out that there's been an uptick, a trend here in the past month or so of what I would say East Coast, just label them East Coast earthquakes. 2.6 up here, as you can see, by Ottawa, between Ottawa and Montreal. But then we had some that were striking down here around just this past week, right around New Madrid. It's 2 year. I'm not sure exactly how many years overdue it is, but it goes off every 200 and some years roughly, and it's over that. So it's due. And then you've got a little bit of quake activity right here in Illinois, 3.1, which is kind of odd. You don't normally see one there. And then you've got another odd one down here in South Carolina, 2.7. Again, if you guys feel these quakes, let me know. Jump over here to Nevada. You've had a weird swarm up here. Shout outs to Spiro. I'm not sure if he's here tonight or not, but he sent me just a little bit ago a clip of over Area 51 where there was a triangular object that was here it is. Let's go ahead and show you guys real quick. Pull it up. Triangular object caught flying in the sky. I mean, like almost like a perfect triangle. Right over Area 51. It's really interesting. You never know what they're going to pull off out there, what they're going to put on display, what you're going to see. We had a trip out there. I've got the video on my channel. You should look it up, Area 51, to search Area 51 in my videos, and you'll see everything that we witnessed. We'd love to be going back, and here's another one. This is all over the moon. This is wild. Whatever this is, they always try to say it's whatever, but like this damn near, I don't know what to make of the shot people are talking about today. And it says NASA just caught something the other day, wild, floating near the moon, shadow looking. It's suspect. Looks straight artificial. Well, in the age of AI, my first question is it AI? First thing. Back it up here. I'm going to pause it. Put a zoom in a little bit more, as much as I can. Here's the object right here. It's coming through. Now, it hits the ground, and dust comes up off the ground, and it leaves a line in the ground as it's going by. You can almost hear there's a line right here that it looks like it might be leaving already behind it. Hit play. Dust kicked it. Now look at hold on. Do you see what I see? Like, this is why. Look at this. Look at the shadow. What is that shadow? That looks like two legs and an arm. It looks like a human floating. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like a humanoid. It has limbs, something floating. It's definitely not a rock. Now, I'm super suspect of this. I want to see the raw file. I want to know where all this came from, because I'm saying it's AI. But I wanted to point that out. Pay attention. I'll back it up some. As it comes through, you'll see the dust kick up, so it hits the ground, and then watch the shadow, and we'll just watch it. Features like lead, and I don't know. That's worth a thought. If they caught that is real, it's not surprising. But in the age of AI, I wonder. Again, I just want to see source video. That's all I ask on that. I don't know if you're ever going to get it, but that's why I always try to leave links. Okay, there is a note below it, and it says, the previous note used Grok to state that the video is real, but not from NASA. Upon further prompting, the video Grok is referencing as the original source is not the same video seen in the post. So Grok was wrong? Imagine that. So all these people that always look, I really can't stand it, to be honest with you. I cannot stand when people, and I'm sure some government shill out there is going to hear it, and they're going to do it in overdrive tomorrow. And I'll know it's you. But they'll be like, Grok, is this true? Or Grok, is this blah, blah, blah. Grok this, Grok that. Like Grok's all saying. And like they're basing, if Grok says something, they're going to be like, oh, Grok said this. And it's just like, no, screw Grok, you dumbass. Like Grok's never 100% accurate. And he's wrong. Especially like right there. Like, I don't know, man. I'm so sick of the AI. I'm so sick of all the crap they're shoving, and people just taking it like as gospel, when it's demonic. Anyhow, back to the earthquake map. Down here by the Salton Sea, we have a series of earthquakes that broke loose that is rather interesting. John, Again, much love. The area of Indio, right here, Indio Hills, they don't show the fault line system. So I'm just going to kind of point it out here. There's the own separate like Indio Hills fault, like it's a tight little fault system of choppy little faults that run right next to the San Andreas. Now, what's important about this area is that this is where the north and the south San Andreas connect. So this is where it becomes the big dog that has been known for coming unzipped in the past and what you got to watch out for. Now, you can see there's a swarm. There's a fault that runs east to west up here called the blue cut or the blue fault line that runs over here. Well, it's not really on that. It's kind of like in this kind of choppy area where they all combine, which is interesting. If you look down here, though, where's the big one? Where'd the big one hit? The foreshock. Foreshock hit literally almost only on the opposite side of Indio here, equidistant from where the swarm is. So the big one hit here, the swarming hitting here. What is right in between? What is dead center in between both of them? San Andreas Fault. And again, it's where it comes together. This Coachella Valley. This is where it all goes down. Like, this is what you got to watch for. I've told you. I've watched this area big time. So any news pops up, I take it serious. See the Salton Sea? Salton Sea is important here because the past 9 out of 10, on average, earthquakes, the big ones that have happened in Southern California, San Andreas specifically, coming unzipped right off this area, has come from water weight. A bunch of water weight. Here recently, I even was reporting on the flooding, but I don't know what it is locally here. I would like to, John, if you can let me know if you've got any like crazy flooding or anything down there, anybody else that's in the area, let me know. I just would like to know if there's any association, because come springtime, the melt off, spring weather, again, any flooding, I'm watching this because there's so many different faults that spider web through here. This is why in the movie San Andreas, it starts over in Nevada, right up in here, and spider webs down and hits these faults. And it's crazy. You could really do that in real life. But yeah, man. A look at the earthquakes. Now, let's get over to the weather, because this is something everyone needs to take serious. This is a big one. We got this super strong Arctic high pushing into the central and eastern part of the US. And we've got like a wheel spinning coming out of the Arctic that's going to bring down like 1, 2, 3 different little rounds within like a 2-week period. And at the same time, it's going to be colliding with this huge stream of moisture that's being pulled up out of the Pacific, like on the other side of Mexico, over Mexico through Texas, and then up into the area of the Midwest, all the way up into the East Coast. This is going to set up, it looks like they're calling it the big one, but this could be one of the worst ones you've ever seen. The models keep changing, but I'm telling you, some of the models already were saying earlier, like upwards of 2 feet of snow, like in my area. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's insanity. So models are shifting, so, hour by hour. They go north, south, north, south. Some of the lines showing all snow, some that snow's cut back and there's ice mixing in with it. And that's going to be some problems right there for any area that gets hit with ice. I can guarantee you there's going to be a ton of power outages from this. This is a life-threatening weather event. This truly is. This is a life-threatening one. The ice that can come down, people are going to be without power, and I'm going to tell you, the week behind this is going to be nothing but super cold air. The day, all right, let me back it up. Saturday, I'm just going to talk from my neck of the woods. I'm in Eastern Kentucky. Anyone in like Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia, Ohio, things like that, they're all right there in the same timeline as me here. You can see it right here on this image. We're going to get hammered like Saturday. It begins Saturday. So throughout the day on Saturday and the Saturday night, this is when it's all going to be dumping. Even in the Sunday and throughout the day Sunday. But the most part, Saturday here, throughout this whole region, just going to get hammered. And depending on where these models settle, man, somebody's going to get it. Without a doubt, seeing like 8 inches period, like bottom line, like in my neck of the woods, with ice. Could be they were calling 1.5 feet earlier. Again, models change. That's just like 2 different ends of the spectrum there. To be expecting, guys. Power's going to be out big time. Emergency crews are going to be called in from a lot of areas. Notice that north of this, up here in Michigan, places like that, they're not going to get hit by this. You're not going to see this storm system like the Midwest is. Lower Midwest, like the portion you see right here. This area is about to get absolutely hammered. The day after, it's going to be like 4 degrees below. So any snow, any ice, anything, it's going to like being froze over. And then I don't think it's going to break freezing much of all week after that. This is it. Rounding out the end of January and all that. I want people to be safe out there and just to know this is what's coming our way. Last year I got hit with something very similar, and we ended up stuck on the mountain for like weeks. It's the way it goes sometimes. And you live and you learn. Part of my problem was that I used a tractor with a box blade and would scrape the snow off. And in some of those areas where I did that, all it did was it made it ice, a sheet of ice. And I couldn't even get through it with the shovels, with plastic shovels and everything. And it was madness. I was at the mercy of Mother Nature. It literally had to warm up. I had to wait for a warm up, like into the 40s, 50s, for the mountain to thaw out, the road to thaw out, and then it'd be over. If I would have just not touched it, I would have been out like a week earlier. So, things to think about out there. Sometimes you're better off just letting it do its thing. But yeah, if you're ever, because I had a guy tell me that just today. He was like, "Yeah, put some change on the tractor, man. Box blades." I'm like, I was like, "Have you ever done it? Like turn it to a sheet of ice." So for people out there to think that certain things might work, take it from me, man. You'll want to find it the hard way on a mountain, man. Be cooking down that mountain. You won't stop. It's one of the scariest things you'll ever do in your life. On a tractor, going down a mountain, mile-long road, yeah, just cooking, no stopping till you hit an embankment. Not fun. So, I wish you luck out there. Stay warm. Stock up. I'm going to tell you right now, stores have been hit already. The word's already out, man. You can see right here. What do we got? This video. Local Walmart. Wow. Well, that was nuts. There was nothing. It was completely empty. So the shelves are gone. You could see local Walmart. Someone mentioned snow and ice. Time for milk and sandwiches. I'll never understand panic buying. Please tell me this is just a South thing. Well, no. You can have it anywhere. It can happen anywhere. Water getting wiped out. A lot of things getting wiped out. People flipping out. Hey, in terms of survival, man, I can't help but keep coming back to like the whole off-grid thing. Like, if you have a way, if you're capturing your own water, and you're cleaning it, or you got one of them devices that capture the water out of the atmosphere, it makes water all the time for you. Those are key. Those would be key. That would be key to have. They're around a couple $1,000s now. The prices come down from where they were. One of those would be key to have in your arsenal, because no matter what, you're going to be able to pull fresh water just right out of the air, right out of the atmosphere. That's critical, man. It's worth the money, like tenfold. If you can afford one, I definitely have it on the list. You should just never know. Like, I don't trust them with nothing. I don't trust them with the water meter. I don't trust them with the electric meter, the smart meter, all of it, man. Uncommon. Shout out to the brother Uncommon News. He did a report on the whole water meter thing, and all smart meters and all this crazy stuff down in Texas that he was exposing, which was huge. They were listening in through acoustics and some crazy stuff, man. Shout outs to him. Also, he's been working on a crazy device, man, that if we have this conference, I'd love to put it on display for people at the conference. Weather is a weapon, man. It's a weapon. Okay? And man, I don't want to see some people getting hit. They're calling for -50. Okay, just to let you know what's going to happen with this -50 in some places in the US, and up to 18 inches of snow. Okay, so that's pretty bad. In Duluth, Minnesota, the wind chill is expected to drop to a blistering 49 degrees below zero. Yeah, so there you go. That's imagine having to step out in that. Feel like your face going to just fall right off. And look at this pile up. 100-car pile up in Michigan. I don't know if you guys saw that. Bad news, man. The super bad. Right here, take a look at it on this. I-196. Scary. This stuff's scary. When it starts unfolding, it's super scary. I've seen a lot of crazy wrecks in my time. I've even watched some on weather cam unfold, like live, like on the highway weather cam that are live that you can tap into and watch. I've seen wrecks happen there. The scariest is when they just keep coming. They just keep coming and keep coming, and like you could tell, like nobody knows what happened. It's going down, until it's too late. It's scary, man. Really scary, man. So just be careful out there. And definitely, I wouldn't be traveling at high speeds, man. Never know, especially throughout the storm. Get through the storm. It's a different thing, man. We got to dig out of it. But that's what they got hit with up in Michigan beforehand. Now it's like the Midwestern. Now, here, let's go to this next one. This is an alert for everyone out there from coast to coast. And I'm not sure what to make of it because, well, I can't pinpoint where this plastic smell's coming from. Although it's coming from somewhere. Something's happening. for years now, man. People have been lighting the snow, saying, "Look, it doesn't melt, smells like plastic." And people are like, "Yo, there's a weird fog, and it smells like burnt plastic." These are real events, man, and people are like, "What's going on?" Well, the official, we'll talk about the official calls here. The EPA saying that here on Wednesday that the air quality levels reached unhealthy in California, Oregon, and other areas, but Los Angeles, man, you take the crown. They say the increased levels are due to little to no wind, and this is what I'm not sure about here, because I went over to Windy and I looked, and I was looking at the storm system coming in that I was just talking about, and it showed wind coming across the entire country, like off the ocean. There wasn't a spot where it was like dead. Not to say that I guess it couldn't be in low-lying areas, like inland a little bit, but it was just kind of showing the wind just coming all the way across the country and not any dead spots. So they're saying the dead spots are the reason for the sharp elevation in toxic microplastics in the atmosphere, toxic compounds, including heavy metals. So in Hollywood, air quality hit 170, which is crazy. Okay, that's a AQI number, air quality. Okay, there's another number, a PM number that gets added to these cities also. And for LA, it's 2.5. That's 5.2 times higher than the normal limit, just in LA alone. Now, go down to Oregon, the La Pine and Deschutes National Forest area. In that region, for some reason, out in the national forest, it's at 160. And they're like, the only thing that they could say is that, again, the air's not moving. So those are high readings. If you go over to the East Coast, you've got Georgia, South Carolina, regions around there that, and this changes almost daily. But this is how it works. They measure on a scale from 0 to 500. And really, once you get up past 150, there's major health concerns. Because, like, for instance, 0 to 50, that carries very little risk. But when you get up to 151 to 200, that impacts absolutely everyone. They say that everyone should limit outdoor activity at that level. So, 2 different places I just told you about. That's not just for sensitive people. The sensitive people may be affected from 51 to 100 and down in those levels. But up here, 151 and higher, like, this is real deal. There's particulates out there, man, in high amounts that you can't see that are going to affect you big time. So that's why I put these alerts out, man. This is a hidden weapon that can affect people big time. Inflame the respiratory system, and you never know what else. Just never know. I do know this, that the reports of the plastic smell is just not going away. It's always there, tied into this. So would love to have some readings, some tests done, And there's also a connection to what they call the radiation fog here. Yes, and much love to all the purebloods out there. You got that right. On to this next one. I keep going back to off-grid with all this, but if you were off-grid, you had a good solar setup, you wouldn't have to pay these huge electric bills, and it would pay for itself rather quick. Buy a system you can add on to, and if you need help, I'll help you. Just ask me, email me. There's systems out there that you can start, you can buy right now, and you can get your hands on it right now. You can get the inverter, get the main system, one battery bank set up, and X amount of solar panels. And again, you just add as you go over time. Add a solar panel here or there to the setup, and add a battery bank as time goes by, and you can build it larger and larger. After just a year or two, you're going to have it set up, and you're off grid. You don't need the grid. You could stay grid tied if you wanted, but if you want to get away from the smart meter and you want to get away from all the crap, you can do it. These days, the technology is there. It's plug and play, man. It's not difficult. It's not like it used to be, and all this other crap. And I've done all the research, and I live it. So, like, who better to be able to tell you? Because I've done all the hours of research and all this and that, and I buy American made, for the most part. I mean, the company I go through is American. I can't tell you where they get all the pieces of all their equipment and everything, but it's all put together in Texas, and it's better than a company that's getting it from another country, so to speak, especially with all the tariff crap. You don't have to deal with all that when you buy from an American company out of Texas. Signature Solar. Look into them. You can, and there ain't no promotion code or nothing, but you can tell them Dabu7 sent you. So Maryland, your governor wants to build a sphere like what's in Vegas, which is crazy to think of when you guys are in a situation where you don't have enough power to go around. You don't have enough energy, period. You're borrowing from neighbors. You're in a bad situation because you put all your eggs in the green basket. And now the governor is wanting to build a sphere like they got in Vegas. And people are scratching their head in like, oh, like what? We're in an emergency type of situation. We've got to get a plan together to save everything. And you want to build this? Like, are you like, is this a joke? I mean, really, it's pretty crazy. But that's why it's just out of touch. The people are pissed. So, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. Look at this. I'm $6,000 behind. Maryland power bill crisis sparks debt panic. 14,000 residents cry for help online. Are you kidding me? $6,000 behind. Wow. Like, look, we often talk about this, and you guys put the prices that you guys are paying out there and all this, but it's getting bad. People cannot catch up. And it's a trap. It's another trap, man. $6,000. I mean, with $6,000, you could the down payment, the start on an off grid setup with $6,000. Like, man, just saying, it's not going to get any better is the problem. It's just not. And the day they ever give free energy or Tesla energy, 0 point energy to the public is going to be the day the beast is in full control, is how I see it. The day the World Economic Forum says you'll own nothing and you'll be happy and all this stuff. It's the same thing with cars. I think anti-gravitics and Jetsons type of stuff is it all be here. But to be a part of it, you have to go into the beast system. It'd be totally different. It'd be all the hidden tech that they roll out for sure. Much love, Uncommon. Good to see you, brother. Wasn't sure if he was out there or not. Just gave you a shout out a couple minutes ago if you're just sliding in. Keep it pushing here. Appalachia, natural gas going through the roof. If you own land right now that is producing natural gas or anything like that, you've been making a lot of money. Same thing with coal. Under Trump, things are changing. He left the climate crap. He left all those pacts, and like a bunch of states are going back to firing up their coal plants because he's saying you can and giving the green light. It would be great to see coal country come back alive here, full scale, because the people benefit from that. That's where the people can just, although you have to go and own the property, I would say the government's done a good job of running all those people off the property the past few decades. They've crushed coal country, made everybody absolutely poor, and places like BlackRock came in, swooped up a ton of the property, you know. So, you know, they did that, and now look, Trump's in there. Now Trump's changing all the laws and making it to where they can use that property and sell all the coal off of it and everything else. So now you know why BlackRock was doing this, and I knew it. You could see it because I pay attention to those things, and I was looking at all these different land plots, and I was shocked to see BlackRock all over the place, buying these huge swaths of land up. And here recently, I think that it was ruled on that they're not allowed to buy homes anymore, like large blocks of homes. They're not allowed to come in and like monopolize this crap, because that's what they were doing. You know, trying to own everything. It's like monopoly. They were trying to own everything around the board and make everybody rent from them. And like, you know, it's crazy. So let's jump into the financials real quick. Gold saying, knock, knock. Yeah. It was like, who's there? 5K knocking at the door. And we're right there. It will cause FOMO once we clip it. Anytime you hit a round, solid number like 100, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, those big numbers, there's always a FOMO type of effect most of the time. Okay, silver's going to do it at 100, and gold's about to do it at 5,000. Okay, that's what's about to happen. Gold's going to hit 5,000, run through it. That's going to carry silver and all the rest behind it. Well, silver up to and through 100, and it's going to do its own little FOMO thing. This is where I'm looking for a top. I'm hoping it blows off a little bit here, and we have a pullback, even if it's below 5,000, and if it's back below 100. I'm fine with that. We need a pullback. We need a pullback, and it may. Even if it takes 6, 7, 8, 9 months, 10, a year, we want it. You need it. It's healthy. It gives everybody a chance to load up on silver before this thing takes off to 1,000, because that's been the plan. And even if it doesn't, if it stays right, because if you try to go buy it right now, even though silver's saying it's only at like, where we at? Let's go look at APMEX. 93.21. Okay, there's a pullback. Let's see if gold peeled over. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so 48.19, 93.16. I just want silver to pull back. If you try to go buy right now, you're going to pay $100 already. So it's already here. See that? 100. 101, 102. That's the lowest prices right there in silver that you're going to find. It's already here. Yep. And there is no, like, some of these places out there are getting crazy with the metals. The premiums are so hiked up, and then other places are not even buying. Like, I've seen stories where people are going out and they're trying to sell in their neck of the woods, and their local dealers aren't even buying. So they're like, what do I do? So you have to take it somewhere else. So they have to literally travel like out of state or out of town to offload their stuff. There's plenty of places out there that will. What I like to do is just grab the phone book or whatever, or look up 6, 7 different places and call them all and see what they're paying on, off the spot value. And they'll tell you. And you'll find out real quick what's going on after you get off the phone with half a dozen places. You'll have your best numbers, and then you'll find out who's even buying or selling. Because when people are not buying and selling like that, and that's their specialty, dude, there's something huge going on. And we already know that with silver. It's already rigged. It's manipulated. Silver should run. Silver adjusted to the one. What were they saying earlier? Was it a 1-to-30 ratio, maybe? Whatever what the ratio was, they were saying the price should be easy at $131 right now. But it's just being manipulated, held back. And we know this. You look around the world in like Shanghai and all the other markets, silver is like trading for like way over 100. So copper also is going to be the next one to lift off. A shout outs to my man out there that sent me the copper. And copper is unique also, man. These things, the metals, just start stacking them, man. You should have already been doing this, but they're all unique in their own way. I mean, we already know silver being of the most conductive metals on the planet. The properties alone, technologically, and the fact that it's used for sound money, it's double. It's silver. I'm telling you, it's just silver is an amazing thing out there to be able to get your hands on, and an asset that's tax free if you're in the right state. Right behind gold. But copper, man, why do you think they run copper pipes, man? It kills bacteria when you run water through it. That's almost like magical in a way. It's got antibacterial properties, man, that not every metal has. And that's good. Ancients knew this stuff, and these days they're going to try to make everything, PEX or this and that. But if you keep the copper plumbing, you want it as much as possible because of those antibacterial properties. It does something. It has something special. It's special. Yeah, and again, much love to the guy out there that is sending me some strips. He's got some special copper from his business that you put on the doors when you're walking in. Those little strips, they're made of a special kind of copper. And he showed me he had some rolls left over and was sending me some strips. And you can throw some in your water, like you have water tanks, like I do, water catchment, or anything that you're holding your water in. You can drop one of these strips down into the water into the tank, and it's going to do its thing. It's just going to do, I call it magic. It's magical thing of killing the bacteria. It's awesome. It's awesome. No chemicals, no nothing. I mean, that's the beauty of it, man. And again, it's a special property. That's special to me. I mean, right there, the utilization of copper, that's special. Copper, silver, and you already know gold up there at the top. Copper cup is key. That's what I want. I was just telling my wife that when it's all said and done, I want a chalice made. I want it made of copper. One little chalice cup made of copper, just for that specific thing. I use a copper watermark. That's awesome, Daily. I mean, it's awesome. You guys are a step ahead there. Silver coin in your water. Silver coin in your water. All right, reading some of that. Thank you, Steely. Thank you for that. I appreciate the super chat here at the top of the hour. And we've been live, here for an hour early. Anyone just tuning in, started off at 8 o'clock. And I may keep this schedule if people like it. It seems to be working out. This next one is not going to make a lot of people happy. I can't understand how someone so racist ever had the position that Michelle Obama had in the Obama's period. But she urges people to be mindful of buying white people's clothing brands. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, anybody else says this, like, you're racist, like, about anyone, about anything. But she can sit there and say, oh, yeah, you can't buy white people anything. Like, are you kidding me? Like, pisses me off. Period. Any of the racism, from any degree. I've suffered racism. Crazy as it may sound, hey, I've suffered it from my own kind. It's and others, but it's just ridiculous. Like, that she gets away with saying these things. You know, Big Mike over here ripping on white people. Just never happy, satisfied, always disgruntled. Not happy in its skin, it seems. Demon. Well, let's go to the next one here. We have a guy that has trained crows to attack MAGA hats, red hats. It's pretty crazy. Moral of the story for me here is crows are very smart, and you could train them to do a lot of things, like this. But flip here. Watch this. Seen him in the background, been stalked. He worked over toward that house. I lost sight of him. I think I seen him swoop down. There, right there. Right there. Right there. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, I thought he was going to hit it hard, like real quick, and take off. But okay, so. Ah, you see what he's done, right? He's just got all the food, all the peanuts or whatever underneath the red cap. And it's like a feeding spot, so they're not stupid. These birds are so intelligent. They can put rocks in a bottle of water and like fill the thing up with enough rocks to get the water to rise so they can get a drink out of it. They're not stupid. They can take X's and O's and squares and triangles and fit the shapes into the right slot over and over again to receive a piece of food. It's nuts. These are God's eyes and ears for sure, all around us, more than you could ever imagine. If you were the creator, well, and you wanted eyes on anything and everything, like all over the place, like the birds are the best thing. Period. They're everywhere. They're so intelligent again. But this guy has trained them to take off the red cap. So, he uses a red cap. It could be any cap, I guess, but just goes to show that people can do some crazy stuff these days. So we've got an undercover video here now showing a judge in Ohio basically admitting and showing that it can be bribed. 909, Skeeby sliding in. Much love, thank you. I'm going to play a little clip of this just so you can get it's a longer clip, but I want you to pay attention to how the person is playing into them. And I don't trust nobody, but just how the person's like, yeah, right. Like feeding into it, like they're playing into it. It's like too much. Anyway, Because it seems for a second this person may be slightly skeptical, but the things that the person says, like, "Oh, I'm glad that," acting like they have sympathy for the Somali or the Mauritanians or whoever it is, the immigrants. That's ultimately what got the person to talk. But it was a setup.
Is there a way I can help the newcomers, the people from Mauritania?
Oh, we got them all here too.
Oh yeah.
See,
Did you guys are the ones that kind of took care of them?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Oh. My best friend, she dating one. So
they've been here for a little while now, I understand.
Maybe a year or so.
Oh my gosh,
they've been populating over here.
You guys been able to handle that?
First it was overwhelming, but now we can't.
How's your friend's boyfriend adapting?
He's staying with us right now. But see, he has his own place too. Mm-hmm. He's got a place with 4 or 5 other guys that he pays his part of the rent for. But he comes and stays with her.
Right. That's on Mulberry, maybe.
Yes. Lachlan. Mm-hmm. I call it Little Africa. Mm-hmm. I call it Little Africa.
Right.
Because they stand out everywhere. They're all over the place.
Right.
And well, I mean, it is what it is. Fine, welcome to America.
Did they work? She got a job?
She gets them their papers. She does.
Oh, they give them the papers to work?
She helps them. She helps them.
All right. Is there a way to help with that?
Mama.
Hello, Mama. Yes. Do they need work?
He's talking about work. He's talking about everything. He knows about Mulberry Street. He knows about all this shit.
Yeah.
He knows about all of it.
Them the best I can.
So you've been over on Mulberry?
I haven't been there. I just, I heard that, and I think I saw some people coming in and going.
That's a big African place.
I almost was going to bring the water directly there, but somebody said don't do that.
The what?
I was going to bring the water directly in there, but they said,
no.
They said don't go in there.
No.
We were talking about maybe getting them some work.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
And then the question is, do they have papers or not?
Some of them have papers, some of them don't have papers.
Okay.
She can.
And what we could do for the one that we don't have paperwork, we could like cash.
Okay.
And then like
cash. Dude, you want to know something? It just, right when she said cash, they're going to use this. They're going to use this whole Somali fraud thing in the use of cash as an excuse to just go digital. Go digital, we don't have to worry about it. They're going to say. Remember, going digital is pissing away your freedom. Right? You get tracked and traced the moment they make this move. We've warned you about this forever. In any moment, it's about to happen. In any moment. It seems you've got to hold on to fiat. You've got to hold on to a physical currency. They could have easily just backed the dollar with gold and saved it and shown us what we've got in Fort Knox, which they've yet to do. But what they did is instead did the genius act, which no one understood because no one takes the time to understand anything, and it backed a USDC stablecoin, a crypto asset on the blockchain. It backed that with a US dollar. It coupled it. It strengthened it, put it 1-to-1. Okay, so then they come out here recently and said, we're backing Tether with a 1/1000th piece of gold, which is huge. They're essentially backing, and the crowd don't see it. The crowd's so docile and dumbed down. They don't even see what's happening. It's insane that we can see this move clearly, and the rest of the crowd's just do about their business every day, don't care about none of it. But here, a huge transition's happening right in front of you. The way that money is used, once the whole crowd realizes that the digital whatever USDC or Tether is backed by gold. Period. Everyone's going to use it. You would be kind of ignorant not to. if there's 20 freaking currencies, say 200 out there, all these options, and like one or two are backed by gold, what are you going to use? You know what it's going to do? It's going to by default make all these other currencies almost obsolete because they have no gold backing. The only way now you understand what this has all been about. Every country and central bank has been buying record amounts of gold, have they not? For month after month, year after year, breakneck record speed and amounts, and you know it. I've told you. You know it. I've reported on it every step of the way. Why would they do that? What would you need it for? Okay? You would need it to back your own currency. This is why every country and every central bank has done so. Any central bank that hasn't done this is screwed. You understand? Any country that does not have gold, or it's been robbed of it, like Ukraine and other places, if they don't have the gold to put behind their currency to back it, they can't compete. You can't compete. Stop and think about it, guys. Okay? I don't care who it is, the Chinese, the Russians, whoever it is. All kinds of options for currencies out there. I don't care if it was the Zimbabwe, whatever. Okay? If that was backed by like solid gold that you could walk in, walk out with, and like everybody on social media was showing them walking out with gold, it's like wildfire. It's going to take off. Okay? So, again, no other currency, you're not going to touch any other currency. But what if the Australian currency steps up and like, well, here, you want some of my Australian money? And they're like, well, no, because I can't get no gold from it. And they're like, well, yeah, you can. We just backed it by gold. Like, oh, really? Okay. Well, then cool. That's another option for me then. And then maybe all of a sudden they start using the Australian money. And then, oh, yeah, the Italian money over here, man, they backed it by gold too. And silver. And a basket of commodities. Is it what? Well, all right. Okay, it's better than nothing. Let's just go check that out. So all of a sudden, you've got currencies that are backed by something. Because the monopoly money we've all used this whole time, it's game over. It's game over. And we're so close. Look at the metals running. Oh my, by 2030, seriously, gold by 20,000 plus in silver, 1,000, easy at this rate. Easy. With some big time catalyst events along the way. But there's huge repercussions to this. Huge. Some places may make it illegal. If they start to back currencies, they may confiscate. A lot of things can change here, man. When it comes to this stuff, it's cash, though. When she said cash, it's a perfect excuse. I know how these bad guys operate. She just said, yeah, we use cash and it's on film. It's like, okay, they're not seeing this. They're not hearing this. Yeah, they are. So they're circumventing getting away with it because they're using cash. So guess what? Trump administration is like, guess what? We got to put a stop to this. We got to put a stop to all this criminal stuff. The only way to do that is to get rid of the fiat. We get rid of the fiat, we close this loophole. And as long as you're not doing nothing bad, you don't have nothing to worry about. Then it's over. Hell with your privacy. That's what they're going to say. That's what's about to happen. Everything we fought for this whole time to keep and have. To be able to walk outside right now and buy a pack of cigarettes off your next door neighbor in the driveway. Just an example. Whatever it is. Or buy some bushel of tomatoes and throw them $10. And, fair exchange. Whatever. Like, you can't do none of that privately from here on out on a digital system. That's been the warning the whole time. A decade ago, I put out a video called The Beast Blockchain. And oh my gosh, time flies. I cannot believe it's been a decade since I dropped that video. Here we are. We're like really on the cusp of it. Though I've never seen a plan laid out in my time. In the open, known, and just like it's there to restructure our system. That's the Mar-a-Lago Accord. I've said it, I don't know how many times. I could tell you probably no one's ever went and researched anything on it. But when they roll this out, it's going to change everything. Mar-a-Lago Accord is the framework for the future, is how they see it. It's going to change the way everything's paid for, how everything flows, all the money. And the guy that Trump's putting in there in the Fed in May to replace Jerome Powell, he's huge on this. And I've warned you about this the whole time. And when he gets in there, he's going to roll out and implement this whole plan. And Trump said on camera, he says, yeah, you know, they wanted me, you know, they brought me in to reset everything. You know, it's oh, really? Well, yeah. Like, out of his own mouth. So it's all about to happen. Here, I don't know. These little things, though, I could see them using as an excuse. Like, yeah, we're going to stomp it out. And if the people don't stand up and do something, Trump's going to do whatever he wants. It's getting scary. Even though his base is fracturing, like, people got to start stepping up and doing something. All right, let's look at some of the chaos that's going down across the country. We got an unhinged liberal here pepper spraying and assaulting a conservative journalist in broad daylight on a Philadelphia bus, just going nuts and just like he obviously was not attacking, so her use of the pepper spray is a weapon at this point. It's not self-defense. Like if I'm a judge and I'm looking at this, like no one did anything to her and she came out and used it as a weapon on an innocent person and could not control her anger. You could see it in her face and everything else. Her rage. She should be charged. Assault with a weapon.
You talk shit about Islamic people, you talk shit about black people, you talk shit about Mexicans, and you post it on the internet.
Come here. What am I? Oh, he doesn't want to be on camera now. Why not? Whoa. I'll record. All right. Good. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I mean, you're so big. What am I?
Oh, are you still gonna film me?
Oh, he assaulted her. She assaulted him straight up.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
See this? She got the back of my head with pepper spray. That was interesting. She's still there.
Fuck you! And
Why?
fuck the shit that you do.
She's coming back. You're gonna get fucking. Okay, so her name's Paulina. Paulina Reyes.
There she is. You want to wait? You want to hang out for the cops?
She's coming back. Yeah, she's gonna wait for the cops.
You're racist,
coming
you're
back.
fascist, and you fucking harass people.
You want to hang?
That's your fucking problem.
You want to hang out for the cops?
How am I a racist?
You want to hang out?
How are you racist?
Yeah.
How are you racist? On the fucking internet.
Whoa.
Go and see.
Why are you so mad?
Why? Because you talk shit about Islamic people, you talk shit about black people, you talk shit about Mexicans,
When?
and you post
Whoa.
it on the internet.
Come here.
She sat that up.
Right here.
She threw her hand up, waiting, and then you could see she quickly. Public transportation here. Like, where's the driver at all? Like anything. Like, how can you expect friends or family to ride on public transportation in this kind of climate? Like, it's ridiculous. That's pure assault. There should be like an area on the train, on the bus, You can shove one of these people and hit a button like a cage comes down. Security cage, security corner. I'm not kidding. There should be one on like every train. There should, like, seriously, if the damn train's not going to stop and you got to keep riding with these maniacs, and they're doing this and you can't stop it, are you kidding me? Imagine if it was somebody with a knife that was just knifing people in there or something crazy. It was way worse. Like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be. It's why I say you always got to roll armed. I don't care. You always roll armed. And unfortunately, in that situation, with the spray, you either take it, try to get away and be the bigger person, because it's not a situation worth using lethal force. Or you're someone out there that carries like 2 weapons, or you carry a stun gun on you, or a less lethal device and a gun, double packing. Or you carry your own pepper spray. Just carry the gun and a thing of pepper spray. If they want to spray, you could spray back. Hey, fire with fire, right? Then what? If that's what they want to use. Okay, so we've got Schellenberg here saying these people are getting people killed, and it's going to get way worse. As it warms up and we head into the summer, it's going to get way worse. These protests are going to escalate. You're going to see more than just National Guard sent in. Like, we're going to see, I believe we're really going to see the first stages of civil war. There's really no way you can avoid it when you've got police that are going to square off with ICE. And it's just a matter of time, an evening, a day here, any time that it can happen, really. Because they're all in the area, they're all set up, and you're just waiting for one big event where it really picks up, and the National Guard's in there with the police, kind of keeping the people calm and trying to keep them back. But at the same time, ICE is in there trying to do what? Do what they do. They're going to clash with police or National Guard. That's going to be a defining moment. I'm going to be honest with you. It's something that I'm kind of watching heavy, and it really looks like Minneapolis may be the spot where they're going to do this. Just period.
I think the left is getting people killed at this point. There's no other way to say it. I mean, these are not difficult issues legally, morally. Public voted for a president who is implementing his policies. It's undemocratic to halt the implementation of those policies, which is what is happening. A year ago, we were talking about, the left setting Teslas on fire. Obviously, between then and now, Charlie Kirk was murdered. The radicalization of the left is ongoing here. I mean, Renee Good, the woman that was killed, is a victim of all this herself. She's in the grip of a delusion. Her partner afterwards said that she couldn't believe that they were using real bullets. They're not in reality. They're in some total fantasy universe. They imagine they're fighting Nazis. They don't understand that the majority of their fellow Americans, voted to implement the policies that ICE is implementing, and they imagine the police would use fake bullets. I mean, it's a dangerous moment, Jesse. I hope this will finally serve as a wake-up call to the left, because they're getting people killed. It's as simple as that.
I mean, you're getting people killed. Well, it seems to be part of their MO, if you ask me. And Brandon, thank you for the information there. I hope all is well, my brother. I really do appreciate that. I hope to see you again. John, Kathy, thank you for the coffees, guys.
Look, I think the left...
Best way to support the channel. I do appreciate it to the fullest. And I've got one here for Gnome talking about how, I you know how I feel about the feds and all this other stuff, but you cannot be like Walls and Fry and letting murderers and rapists go. You cannot do it. If ICE is just going to take them, all you got to do is hand it to them, and they'll take them out of the country and they're out of here, then you need to do so. Okay? Known murderers, rapists that are here illegally, there should be no question asked. Period.
Well, we have a national targeting center that identifies those who've committed crimes. So they've done something in this country or in their home country that has been criminal charges against them, or they've been convicted. Many times these individuals are in jails or prisons in some of our states already that we just want those local law enforcement officers to turn over to us. For example, one of the things we've asked Governor Walz for and Mayor Fry is to give us just the criminals you have in jail. They've released 490 murderers and rapists and drug traffickers onto their streets rather than just give them to us. And that's what I don't understand.
Well, you know, some of them, though, have multiple names.
I don't understand
which
it
was a big problem. If you come in illegally, you don't necessarily have a social security card, you don't have a passport, there's no database back in your home country because it's a country we're not friendly with.
Yeah, or they've lied on their paperwork to come in, and then they've overstayed and not shown up for their immigration court hearings. They've been notified, and then they've run into DUIs, other incidences. So what we're doing is targeting those who have committed criminal acts. But if we show up and we're going after a TDA member in an apartment, and they're in an apartment with 12 other people, we're going to ask those other people who they are, what their identity is, just like we would any other law enforcement operation. I think that's what people don't know, is that we're doing the same thing that law enforcement has done for years under this administration, the Biden administration, all of them. We haven't changed what we do in these types of situations. We ask everyone there who they are and why they're affiliated and surrounded by these criminals.
So that can be a little dicey for some people. So you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I was way younger and was at a party. It was a house party, and somebody called the cops. The cops showed up. And what do you think happens? Cops come in, and what they do, they start asking for IDs. They want to know who everybody is. Right? They're going to ID everyone. They want to know who everybody is, who bought the alcohol, how old everybody, the whole nine. If you've never been there, been in a situation like that. So right there is a situation where the local law enforcement is IDing everybody in a home just because they got a call. Knock, knock. Neighbor said loud music, got a complaint, smell some marijuana, loud music, mind if you come in, look at some things. Yeah, they're in house party. They start IDing, they're IDing everybody. It's just how it goes. Anyway, if they stop you anywhere, let's just take it outside of a house, but let's take it out into a protest. Let's take it out into the street. Say you're at a park, right? Say you're at a park, for instance, let's go to Milwaukee. Let's go to their main park right there. Right there in the middle of downtown, their main big open park. If you're there having a good time with friends and family, all of a sudden protesters show up, or start marching down the street, and the confrontation breaks loose here on the edge, on the street, sidewalk, some close proximity, and it breaks out all over. And like, you can't even get to the car. You're trying to get everything, get to the car and get out of there, but like everything spills over. People are running to the field, and like, here's cops come running, and like, you're caught in it. And like, next thing you know, they're asking, who are you? Like, let me see some ID. Like, who are you? Let me see some ID. All of a sudden, you're like, hold on. I'm an American citizen, sitting here eating, chilling with my family. Who are you to run up on me and ask me for my papers, basically, in a park? But let me tell you, them chasing these goons around gives them the perfect excuse to do this to everyone. Can't you see? It can be your business. Doesn't matter. Someone could even lie, saying illegals working in your business. They come knocking, and they're up in there. We need to make sure. Mind if you look around? And if you put up a fight, people got a right to put up a fight. all right, like, and deny anyone to come in, especially masked men with no badges, asking for you to identify yourself when they can't even properly identify themselves. That's where a lot of people have problems with this. And I've seen some very suspect video. I've seen these ICE agents just stopping people like in intersections, like people trying to get through, like, and just go, and like high strung, intense cops screaming at them and even pointing weapons at them. Just people trying to get through. And it's like, dude, like, but I know, because I've already been there. I've been there in the flesh, on the ground. I've had the gun put in my face. I've been thrown off a bridge because of it. Shotgun thrown in my face while I was live streaming. I don't know, man. It's a different animal out here. All I can see, I see this breaking loose everywhere. And what's nuts is there's corruption everywhere. And like, you're seeing it. And like, they're showing you Minnesota's full of it. And like, it's moving from place to place. Man, I'm gonna tell you, if you get up and you go look in your neck of the woods, you're probably gonna find some level of corruption. Because what's being seen, especially in the blue states or in the blue cities, sanctuary cities, it's just that guys are just going to the local city and they're like, oh, look, we just walked into our local daycare. And what do we have? We've got 10 companies listed here on the placard with not a soul in here at any one of them, any of them. And they're all shell, like a front company, not doing what they represent that they're doing. And the companies on paper are bringing in millions. It's nuts. And how they've been able to pull this off and nobody knew this whole time is like fraudulent. Like, high levels of government people knew, like, for sure. Like, this is about to cause a civil war, dude. Like, this is going to be bad. It's someone, thank you for the coffees. Much love. God bless. I can't help but think what happens when you wake up one morning and they're like, guess what? 20 people are dead. Wherever. Atlanta. All 20 suspected to have dropped dead from a strain of this new whatever. And it's over. It begins. Lockdowns begin. What will happen very easily and very quickly this time? You already know what they'll do. They already forced everybody to stay in their homes, locked down. You had to have essential papers to go anywhere. If you did, you had to stand 6 feet apart, wear a mask, and do all the stuff. Participate in the ritual. This time it'll be real. And this time, the one thing you did not have last time with these guys running around, rounding people up, okay? They needed that. They needed a reason for that. This wasn't even about anything. This whole thing was a ruse. Can't you see it? This whole thing was a setup. Even having to let Biden in, because Biden could be the excuse on why they let all these people in, right? The reason they let all these people in is the excuse for having ICE all over the place. That's going to melt away the morning we wake up and 20 people are dead in Atlanta from a new strain of this whatever. And that's just an example. When it begins, you're foolish if you think they just ran a beta test on the whole world. Everyone, Russia, China, they all participated. You don't think that they're not going to do this? They're going to do this. Oh, Trump should have been arresting Bill Gates, and he didn't. He had dinner with him in Mar-a-Lago. And what did they talk about? mRNA and how to make money off mRNA. You and I both know there's only one way to make money off of mRNA. You already know. They told us right then. That's how disgustingly sick and gross this whole thing is. The men that should be getting arrested, like Hillary for prison, or whining and dining with Chumpy, and setting plans on making big money off of us on the next event. Because it would have to be an event. If you're going to sit down to the world's richest men, powerful men, you're going to discuss making money off of mRNA, that involves a huge event. Does it not? Let's just be honest. Does it not? Yeah, sometimes, right in plain sight, the truth is hidden. And there it is. And I'm telling you, it's my biggest fear. Hit us with an EMP. Hit us with whatever, lights out, bank glitch, whatever. Like, this is the one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see happen. I almost feel like you can't escape it. It's going to happen. They're going to unleash it. They're going to unleash it. Bill Gates has got so much invested into it. And remember, his 666 Luciferus, his patented 666 jab is still sitting there, never used. The whole key to it is it leaves a mark on you, an X that glows. And they can see it from like 10, 20 feet away. That way when these soldiers are out rounding people up, they can have you put your hand up. And you'll have a mark. You can either put it on your, I guess, your forehead, or because it's easily going to be seen that way, or have to hold your hand up. And if you don't, you could be shot dead. This is the real deal. Can't you see that that's what's about to happen? That's the scariest thing to me right here. Forget everything else. That's the worst thing that could ever happen. The worst thing is they unleash this thing. I don't know where it's written in the stars that they do this, but I'm trying to find out. It seems the economic thing is something that may be on cue first. I hope I'll go through, like I said, all this other stuff and deal with it. Even they can even hit us with this full-blown disclosure or whatever, like all that. Like, an out-of-control disease changes everything, man. And they have to get the mark. They have to be forced this time at gunpoint. This is it. This is everything they ever wanted. This is how you got there. This is how you got there. I just explained to you. It was perfectly planned, perfectly executed at this point. Police state America. There's ICE teams, agents all over the place. And I guess once they get them spread out, that's kind of the thing here I'm looking at. Like, looking at the crystal ball. Like, okay, what the? Like, when's the big event then? When's the switch up? When's the thing? When's it going to go down? Well, I would say when they've got everyone positioned kind of where they want them. It seems like they're still making some moves. I don't know where else he's going to send. This summer's going to be wild. And I look up at the screen and I see the headline, the next story. And with everything I just said, it says the House Oversight Committee votes to charge the Clintons with criminal contempt because they didn't show up, right? It's a huge story. But wow, what timing. Like, it's all about to go down. It's like a day before 9/11 or something. Rumsfeld, like, there's trillions missing. Like, do you see these guys ever getting charged? I feel like the hourglass has been flipped. I feel like a huge event's about to happen. And, like, the event is going to stop everything. Just like it did last time. The whole world stopped. Everybody geeked out. Right after buy toilet paper. Everything tanked in the markets. And that was just a dry run. Okay? Imagine real deal here. Real bodies dropping. All this melts away. All of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? all this is gone. Do you understand? All this is gone. They never have to worry about another word about Epstein ever again. Once this happens, none of it. They don't have to worry about nothing ever again. Everyone will fight for survival. The sad thing is most people will think that they don't live through a pandemic or something, kind of foolishly, because we live the lie. And when a real one hits, they're going to be shocked. The shell shock can blow people away. Remember, they planned. This is so, you can't get this wrong. You get it wrong, it becomes like 28 days later, like a movie, and there's like no fixing it. Like what? Until it runs its course, and like what? Like, who knows? What we do know is that they're full blown ready to go with something with the bird flu and all the jabs and all of everything. So, that's what I expect the route to be. Something from that department like bird flu. That's going to give them the excuse to go in and go to every farm that's out there. Every single one that's got a chicken or anything. And everyone's going to have to obliterate everything because they're going to say everything's got this disease. And it might. These things. The real deal is going to be different than the fake. It's going to be messy. It's going to mess with some people's minds because big time. It's going to be different, man. You're going to have to, the only way to survive an event like this is to isolate. You have to be ready for it. This time when real people are dead, just start running out to the store to grab a couple things last minute because what you might catch there is death. This is going to be a game changer. It's going to be too late. So many people are going to die so quick. They'll be ready for it. They're ready. They've got teams all over the place. Right in front of your face. This never was about the migrants that they don't give up about. This is about staging the police state, getting it ready for the big event. I'm warning you. I'm going to keep on pushing. But when I see these things, I can't help but think we're close, so close. Because you're going to tell me you're going to put them in jail? Or anything like this? Look, that's when you know you're coming up on the hour, man. You ask me. Again, the closest comparison is like Rumsfeld the day before 9/11 saying, there's trillions missing. And the next day, everyone forgot about it. Because it was 9/11. And it was 9/11. They consumed the minds of the masses for then on out. Day in and day out. That's what lockdowns did last time. Fake everything. I'm talking I've gotten visions that have been the scariest of my life. That's why I walk when I talk. That's why I'm where I'm at right now. Because I've seen this whole thing break down where you couldn't even leave the house. I had a bad vision of looking out the window during lockdowns when you had to have essential papers. And the word was that they were sending people door to door. And I looked out and seen all the houses around me. I said, I'm like, dude, no way. I said, I'm not living like this. It ain't going, they're going to come Waco me. That's how I felt. So I'm a pure blood. They're going to come, I ain't answering the door. And any of these neighbors that got jabbed or anything like that, they're going to look at me like, well, I don't know. And as soon as they see me leave, who's going to be the one to snitch me out? Oh, yeah, we're just calling it. He just left the house. Driving a blah, blah, blah. Think you pulled over down the road. Yeah, sir, but just want to make sure everybody in there's jabbed. Whatever. Nah. I had bad vision. Nah. They ain't happening. You're done then. Right, it's over. You might as well be dead then. Then kill me then. They're going to mark you right there. You're going to get marked. Or what? It's going to be totally different. This is the game changer. This is clutch. This is clutch. We're right there. We're right there. All they got to do is do it. Can't say it's all, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Conspiracy. They ran us. You know, every one of you know in your heart that we just lived through a big beta test. You know what I'm telling you is right. Problem is, most people don't want to face it. You better face it now. I'm telling you, I don't know how you're gonna do it. I see me out in the yard with a gun shaking in high grass, tall grass. Like somebody was like in the tall grass with a gun or something, and I could feel the wind blowing. And he most I made it as real as it could get. I never know. It stopped. It was like so heart pounding at that point. Like nothing, like no gunfire, no nothing happened. Like, but I was right there on that day, out there, with the wind blowing, tall grass, with the gun drawn, and somebody right out there in the field stooped down, and that was like that was it. It was like, dude, like. It was so real. And it hadn't been for a reason, because I dedicated every damn day of my life to surviving that vision. So be it. Yeah. I keep the grass cut low. I don't even have any grass up here around me. And anybody wants to come messing, hey. I'm not, I don't know. Crazy times are crazy times, right? I just know what God showed me. And like, I'm like, wow. Like, okay, I get it. It's like you either do or you don't. You either get ready or you don't. And I've said this for this whole time, all these years. A salute to all my cats out there that in much love cannons made me think of you. I gotta hit back cannons. I got cats out there that have cashed out 401ks and took this really serious. And salute to you. You know, you're in a better position than getting screwed, I feel. They crashed the market. You can't get nothing out of your 401k. What are you going to do? You're still sitting where you're sitting. Can't touch your pot. You can't touch none of your money. None of it. It's over. I wouldn't be in a 401k right now, guys. And I got a video here real quick. Speaking of Clintons, speaking of the whole thing, Comer laying out some of the offensive here against Bill Clinton.
Today, the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform meets to advance two resolutions recommending that the House of Representatives find former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with duly issued subpoenas. The committee does not take this action lightly, but subpoenas are not mere suggestions. They carry the force of law and require compliance. Former President Clinton and Secretary Clinton were legally required to appear for depositions before this committee. They refused. As Democrat Ranking Member Garcia stated, and I quote, "Defying a congressional subpoena is highly illegal," end quote. He also stated, and I quote, "No one is above the law." Actions have consequences. 6 months ago, Republicans and Democrats on the House Oversight Committee's Federal Law Enforcement Subcommittee unanimously approved deposition subpoenas for the Clintons by voice vote as part of our investigation into the federal government's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell criminal cases. More than 5 months ago, I issued those bipartisan subpoenas. The Clintons' testimony is critical to understanding Epstein's sex trafficking network and the ways he sought to curry favor and influence to shield himself from scrutiny. Their testimony may also inform how Congress can strengthen laws to better combat human trafficking. Since issuing the subpoenas, this committee has acted in good faith. We've offered flexibility on scheduling. The response we received was not cooperation, but defiance, marked by repeated delays, excuses, and obstruction. The Clintons claim they have been treated unfairly because this committee accepted written statements under penalty of perjury from former U.S. Attorneys General Holder, Lynch, Sessions, and Garland, as well as former FBI Director Comey. Those written statements were accepted because none of those officials recalled information relevant to the Epstein investigation, nor did they have personal relationships with Epstein. By contrast, the committee required in-person testimony from former U.S. Attorney General Barr and former U.S. Secretary of Labor and U.S. Attorney Acosta, both Republicans, because they possessed information directly relevant to the investigation. The Clintons are in a fundamentally different category. They had documented relationships with Epstein and Maxwell, evidenced by numerous photographs, flight log records, wedding invitations, and other materials. Some of these photos can be seen here. We repeatedly informed the Clintons' attorney that written statements would not be accepted. The subpoenas required depositions. Federal courts have consistently held that witnesses may not impose their own conditions upon the manner of congressional inquiry. Yet the Clintons attempted to do exactly that, submitting brief, bulleted written statements that are neither comprehensive nor responsive to the committee's many unanswered questions. No witness, not a former president or a private citizen, may willfully defy a duly issued congressional subpoena without consequence. But that is what the Clintons did, and that is why we are here today. I would expect bipartisan support for enforcing those subpoenas by voting in favor of these resolutions. Unfortunately, it appears that Ranking Member Garcia has chosen to follow marching orders designed to distract from the issue at hand. I hope I'm wrong about this. Over the weekend, Ranking Member Garcia made clear that Democrats intend to divert attention from the Clintons by instead calling for Attorney General Bondi to be held in contempt. The difference is clear. Attorney General Bondi and the Department of Justice are producing documents. While the pace is slower than any of us would prefer and must speed up, I believe that much of the delay involves the Department of Justice trying to take care to redact victims' personal information. By contrast, the Clintons have flatly refused to appear at all, despite repeated warnings that the committee would move forward with contempt proceedings. Today, the Clintons must be held accountable for their actions, and Democrats must support these measures or they will be exposed as hypocrites. We must do what is necessary to uphold Congress's investigative authority, which is imperative to the legislative process.
Yeah, well, no one's above the law. Looks like the Clintons think they are. How far are they going to push this? I mean, seriously, it's a big thing. This is the farthest they've ever been in terms of like trying to get these guys in court or get them in trouble. This is the closest you've ever seen, ever. Like, tied into something like this, it was inevitable, if you ask me. And I almost feel like they've been trying to push it off until like Bill dies or something, like, because he's not in great shape and he's up there. I don't know how much money he spent, to stay alive, how many surgeries, how many stents, how many all this other stuff, but I know he's had a lot of stuff done to him. And how much adrenochrome the guy's been sucking on for all these years as well. Him and Hillary both, but it's the Clinton cartel, flat out. And it's like, wow. I keep going back to like, there's no way. Like, I'll believe it, and I won't. I don't know if I'll even believe it when they say if they're in a jail cell, if that was to ever happen, because I would like to see like a. I just don't believe nothing they say at this point, man. To satisfy the people, they could sit there and lie and say that like a bunch of these people are locked up in jail, and you wouldn't even never know the difference. You wouldn't. I would like almost demand like a live stream footage that could tap into. Let me make sure these fools are in their cell, but they ain't never gonna let you do that. Instead, when they drag them into court, they give you cartoon sketches, and you don't even really know if they're there or not. What's going on? For real. Forever, we had to wonder if Ghislaine Maxwell was even alive because that's all we got was cartoon sketches. We never got any video until finally they came out and showed her, and then they moved her down to a sweet spot prison where she shouldn't be. She was allowed to have a dog, all this other crap, like all these weird things that like shouldn't happen. So breaking news with that, also, she's been ordered to give a deposition, a new grilling to Congress or to these guys. Like, I don't know what's going to come of that. I'll update. You know, when they got somebody locked up in a cell, they can just pull them out and they can get their deposition right there. The Clintons, again, like you just heard, they keep giving a written type of statement saying that, you know, we're not showing up. Nice. Good scores there, Gary. Newsom says that Trump is trying to stoke civil war. Shouldn't surprise anybody. It seems like civil war is floating in the air, and it's just the deep state, if you will. That's their plan. Like, chaos is coming.
And in the ensuing months, we've seen BORTAC teams, people dressed up, tactical gear, Apache helicopters, descending in streets all across America, masked men, without providing identification and wearing.
And the problem with this, the trap with this, the mentality of it is this, is that, yeah, they're throwing out a police state, but the shills, the government shills that are being paid by Trump and the Mossad and all that out there, they'll push the ideology, they'll push like certain rhetoric, certain ideas. And like, say for instance this, Gavin Newsom saying, oh, we're seeing police rolled out. Like, if I was to come out and say, okay, yeah, there's a police state being rolled out, one of the right-wing shills would be like, oh, you're agreeing with Gavin Newsom, you're a left-leaning liberal, and take it high school when this is the furthest thing from the truth. It is a police state, but see, that's the trap. If you go to start to call this out now, that's exactly what they're going to do. Exactly what I just told you. They're going to try to put you in the boat on the other side, which is all they ever know how to do. It's what Trump does. It's all he resorts to anyway. He's shattered his own base left and right. Just keeps slicing it in half, doing that. But I mean, these guys got a role. These guys are like actors, you know, out here doing this. Man, we got a lot of Newsom ahead of us. This sucks. This is probably their main pick. Imagine if they trash the economy, they do all hell breaks loose on Trump's watch, and election does pop up, and they give it to Newsom. You can't say they won't. They can't, because they do whatever they want. They gave you a man in a mask for 4 years, Biden. So I'd watch out. And the scariest thing to me, one of the scariest, because there's a lot of crap going on, is just how no one in MAGA stands for anything. They don't stand up to question like anything. It's scary. For instance, when the Trump administration come out and they're like, oh, Antifa and this group, and they're all domestic terrorists. and put it on the books that any group that wants to gather against the government is a domestic extremist. Well, that can go both ways. Only problem is it's not going toward the right now, because their leader put it in play, and he's not attacking his own people, so to speak, with it. He's attacking the left with it. Okay? So they sit there and they say nothing. MAGA sits there and says nothing, as their Messiah, their Gentile Messiah, puts laws on the books that if Newsom gets in there, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to pull on the executive orders and the laws that their Messiah put down, and he use them against them. Everybody in MAGA is a domestic extremist. You see how easy that was? You see how easy that was? Trap set. Dumbasses couldn't see it coming. Yet we've called it out time and time again. This is why having a political affiliation out here is going to do you nothing but cause you drama and headache and get you targeted by anyone and everyone. Not only about nutcases from either side, but the government itself. That's right. That's why I can't even be put down as voting for anyone or any side, because they hack into a database and they find out if they're targeting if they're targeting MAGA season, like coming up, like I'm telling you, then they find out that you voted for Trump, and somebody hacked it, or it was put out there and it's known, or just because you blared it the whole time, put it on social media and then in your yard and everywhere else that you voted for Trump. It's going to be very easy for them to turn the guns on absolutely everybody. Absolutely everybody. Like a nightmare. And it can happen quick. And boy, oh boy, if all this was to happen, a handoff, just kind of like last time, it all went into motion at the end of Trump's presidency. He was Mr. Warp Speed. Huh? Right, he was. He was the one that rolled everything out. He sure was. And handed it off to the Democrats. Oh, dude, Newsom would come in like the Joker leading Gotham. Like, seriously, like, this guy is... They're putting so much steam behind him, man. You better hope not. Remember, they're all actors, but they telegraph and they run this whole thing. And at the rate that Trump's going, taking a wrecking ball to his own base, he doesn't care. This is why the whole Charlie Kirk thing, whatever levels of manufactured it was, they made sure that the whole Turning Point USA, the whole base, all those millions of people, they converted that to J.D. Vance's base. It was one big like magic trick. So what they did, they had all this big energy and big show. Right at the end of it, they brought him out and they were like, well, we put all of our energy into you. Bow down to J.D. Vance. He's our leader. Woo-hoo. And that's what it was. That's what it is. That's what all of it is. It's crazy that they made that move. It wasn't just, it's because Trump shattered his base, like blew out, that tire and this tire and that tire of the base. He's only rocking on like one wheel at this point. And for real, it's getting shredded. It's insane. I am surprised that some of the accounts that were backing him have pushed away. Not some of the bigger ones that I was hoping for, but I have seen other people out there that surprisingly are calling out Trump and are disassociating with the whole MAGA thing. They're breaking away from MAGA, whole talk of MAGA and all this. And I don't know, he's fractured this whole thing. There's MAGA, there's MEGA, America First, like all these other camps. And that's what they do. They divide and conquer, right? Left-right paradigm. check this out. The CIA releases a video trying to encourage Chinese spies to come clean. It's pretty crazy, but I doubt they're going to fall for it and take the bait. But it's like the propaganda that they're putting out there for them. It's interesting. See right here. It's like any spy that's watching, they're gonna tap in and play this. Just any Chinese people staying in the building and make sure that they see this. And they get this message. Yo, come talk to us. Like, we won't say nothing. You know, like, oh. It's just, CIA. Always up to it, maybe sitting in the hotel, man, and dropping a message to you right there on the screen. That's what they're doing. And here's a startling headline. This right here, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. Switch gears here up a notch. I think civil war is like as dramatic of a thing as we could see, pretty much, outside of like lights out or, like I told you, another a real pandemic. Like the civil war is what they've always wanted, and with these teams all over the place, like they're setting up for that. Well, this one says immigration officers assert sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. Remember what I told you earlier? Put the whole thing back by the party, cops showing up, ID and everybody. But hold on. Like, what if they got it wrong? And like, I never heard of that person. Like, what are you talking about? What if they don't even have to have it right? What if it doesn't matter? What if they just show up knocking and it doesn't matter? You can say like, no one lives here. No one's ever lived here by that name. Never got mail here by that name. Never nothing. Would you mind if you come in and look? Well, yeah, I've got kids in here. I've got this and that. Well, ma'am, we've got suspicion and belief that you've got a male inside this house. Blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever. They're going to talk her down and they can just go into the house. That's what this is saying. They don't need a warrant. A person's going to be like, all right, you come back and you get a warrant. They're going to be like, we don't need one. Step aside. You don't step aside, they're going to body slam you. Better yet, shoot you dead. Right there in your own house. Pisses me off. This is why the whole snitch thing is dangerous and very important. You know, oh, neighbors called and said that you were a threat. You were talking about doing something with the weapon over here. Like, we want to come de-escalate the situation, make sure there's no guns, blah, blah, blah. If there are, we're going to take them for the next 48 hours till you cool off. You know, take your weapons. Because someone don't like you, snitched you out or whatever. This is crazy. You're going to tell me for a second. So now, I mean, I think the next one touches on this as well. Trump unleashes ICE on Somalis in Maine as agents go door to door in a huge roundup. Operation Catch of the Day. Door to door. Do you want to deal with this? Do you want to deal with ICE knocking on your door in your driveway? Are you ready to deal with this? You didn't ask for this. You don't deal with illegals. Why? Well, are you ready? All right, you didn't have to. That's the problem with this. This is what we've been trying to tell everybody the whole time. It's a police state getting rolled out right in front of your face. Are you ready? Because that's what's happening. City after city in Maine. Maine is next. I can't believe I'm saying this. Door to door. And they don't have to have a warrant to kick it in, to come into your house. This is crazy. Like, this is crazy, dude. It doesn't get any more unprecedented than this. You come kick in your freaking door with no warrant at any time because a group of guys decide somebody may be in there. Man, I'll tell you what. People live in apartment buildings, things like that. These guys are going to be making rounds through. Guys, you better watch out. This is nuts. Door to door, anything. I feel bad for like all of our people out there that got like, I don't know, maybe some Hispanic roots. Like someone like, I mean, I've got friends of all colors, all backgrounds. Like, they're all like Americans that are born here, but like they could be like, you know, have Mexican roots and look Hispanic. And like, who knows? They could be like outside of their apartment complex, like going from the car to their place or vice versa. And like these dudes pull up. Guess what? You're getting swarmed. American citizen. Never asked for none of this. Getting profiled, getting swarmed. And so which apartment are you at? Oh, really? All these questions be asked. If they get any other information, they're going knocking on another door. Who's to say, dude, they don't have to have a warrant. As far as I can tell at this point, they're saying that these dudes can go door to door. If they suspect that there's somebody inside hiding from them, they can basically enter. They can kick it down. This is nuts. I told you. I warned you. They're using this as a guise. Are you ready for this? Again, they come up. They catch you slipping. They roll up in your neighborhood. Like, they catch you slipping. They catch you slipping. But like, what do you do? Like, some people are not going to want to deal with it. Like, you're going to think it's absurd because, again, you've never dealt with an illegal in your life. And they're like, do you mind if we check your house real quick? What do you mean? Like that this is what's about to happen, man. Guys, this is what's happening. If you deny them, there can become a confrontation. The moment that you get physical, there's anything like that, they're taking you down, and then they're going in anyway. This is insane. This is insane. No warrants and door to door. It's just, there's. Are you ready? That's all I can say. Or are you ready? You ready for this coming to your town? As soon as you hear this coming to your neck of the woods or whatever, boy, you better be ready. Again, Maine. There's a lot of cities in Maine, I'm sure. They just said Maine. So, you would have thought there was anything major going down in Maine, but again, they're using whatever little excuse to go in and do what they want. So, I've already seen people email me and tell me because I seen it coming and then it happened. And people were like, "Yeah, gonna leave my apartment building and they're making rounds, ISIS, and it's sketchy." Like, again, someone afraid to even leave their apartment and go to the car because they know ICE is rolling around, looking for people, profiling. And like, they're not doing anything bad, but they feel like they could get attacked. And dude, who wants to even have to go through this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's messed up. It's messed up. The craziest part is like, the Democratic leaders in these cities, as Chrissy Noem said earlier, I agree with her there. They are letting the murderers and the rapists go. They're either keeping them or letting them go. They're not handing them over to ICE. And ICE that just wants to take them out of the country and get them out of the country, which I'm okay with them. If that's what you want to do, okay, go grab them. That's fine. You don't have to come up in everyone's house and home and invade their privacy and go door to door. You don't have to do that. But if they've got some guys sitting here in a jail cell, they should most definitely be rounded up and taken out of here if they're murderers. It should be a crime to not. It should be treason, especially if you let them go. And they've been doing that, letting them go, which is crazy. All right, so on to the global world news here. With war, Ted Cruz predicting Iran, he even throws Venezuela in there. Like, it's not over with Venezuela and Cuba. They could all fall within the next 6 months. I pay attention to some of these things because they put out little clues here and there about where things are going.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, Senator. Let's start with Iran, where dissent right now is being punished. I want to get your take on what President Trump should do regarding Iran.
Well, Maria, I have to say we are living in extraordinary times. The change that is occurring across the globe exceeds anything we have seen in decades. There is a very real possibility that in the next 6 months, the regimes in Iran, in Venezuela, and Cuba will all fall. There is a real possibility that Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba will all democratically elect new leaders, and instead of fomenting violence, fomenting attacks on America, instead of waging war on America, there is a real chance in the next 6 months that the people of those three countries will elect leaders who embrace freedom and free enterprise and who want to stand with America. And I got to say, if that happens, it is difficult to think of anything more consequential. You have to go back to the fall of the Berlin Wall and to America winning the Cold War without firing a shot to find a time as pivotal as where we are right now. If you look at Iran, Iran for 50 years has been the world's leading sponsor of terrorism. They have paid for and funded 90% of the funding of Hamas comes from Iran. 90% of the funding for Hezbollah comes from Iran. Iran funds terrorists all across the globe, including sending terrorists to, among other places, Venezuela, and targeting Americans. Right now, there are over 1 million Iranians that are showing unbelievable courage, standing up against this tyrannical regime. And I got to say, President Trump, I think, has been very strong in telling the regime, number one, we stand with the people, do not target, do not murder the protesters, telling the protesters, America stands with you. And I got to say, just in the last 2 days, a really important step occurred where President Trump came out unequivocally and said, it is time for new leadership in Iran. Yes. It is time for the Ayatollah Khamenei, his religious dictatorship, to end. I think that's massively important.
So what happens next? Because as you know, Senator, first the president said help is on the way and then pulled back a bit with this expectation that the killings have stopped. At that point, thousands of people had already been killed, and the people on the streets are hoping that the United States does something. Would you endorse that the U.S. goes in and takes action?
Well, look, I think the U.S. should be taking every step possible to end this regime. The Ayatollah Khamenei hates America. He regularly leads massive mobs chanting death to America. In fact, every year in Iran, they celebrate as a holiday Death to America Day. It's the anniversary of the Iranian Revolution and taking over the U.S. Embassy in 1979. And so the reason that President Trump ordered a B-2 attack on Iran's nuclear facilities is he made the right decision as commander-in-chief that if that theocratic dictator got nuclear weapons, the odds were unacceptable that he would use nuclear weapons to murder thousands or even millions of Americans. That was the single most important foreign policy decision the president has made this second term. And when it comes to the protest, I think what is most important is making clear that America is with the people. Contrast this to 2009. 2009, you had the so-called Green Revolution in Iran. The Iranian people were rising up there. But Barack Obama made a very different decision. He was a new president. He decided that America stands with the regime.
All right. Enough of Ted Cruz. Let's zero in on what's happening with Iran, where this is really going to go. All right. The whole reason I played this is because he lets you know right at the gate there that within 6 months, by summertime, there's a real possibility that there could be regime change in all three places. Well, let me tell you, that's not just going to happen out of nowhere like nothing's going down. The only way that that's going to happen is if there's big uprisings in the streets. They had it going here in Iran. And what I watched this, I forget the guy's last name. It was John something. He was getting interviewed by Judge Napolitano, and they just put it out a couple days ago, and he was breaking down from his perspective everything that was going down with the U.S. military, the movement. He broke it down really good, and basically was saying that when it comes to Iran, that we have been pushing for color revolution on the ground. We've had CIA there, agents on the ground stirring the pot for a minute, and that we've actually had our agents putting guns in the hands of individuals that were shooting at regime forces, and that were also the ones throwing Molotovs and causing the chaos. No big surprise there. Our government's been doing that for a long time. Several governments do this, engage in this. This is what they do to get the people, on against the government. Let's just put it that way. It's always to topple the leader that's in there and to replace it. Now, the U.S. government can go through all this trouble, and if a leader gets put in that they're not happy with, well, they're not going to have that. It's kind of the same thing with Venezuela here. They got Maduro. They got that Vice in there, kind of working deals, doing what they want. But there's other factions that are still in Venezuela that are not just laying down. They realize that they can either try to put up a fight here or their days are like done. Some apparently going to try to put up a fight. It looks like something's got to be done about that in terms of U.S. military, because those groups are going to try to seize assets, oil assets, and everything else on the ground. They're going to cause difficulty for the U.S. military within Venezuela. Venezuela is key to Iran as well. Iran leaning on that oil supply or the economic and the friendship and all that to be an ally, just like Cuba. Cuba is really the one that I would watch. Cuba's like 90 miles, right there off the coast. And I mean, you could say Mexico, is right there at our border, but the target seems to be on these three: Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba. But Cuba's president is popping off at the mouth hardcore. Harder than anyone. Harder than any president. Any leader of any country. War. That it's war. Like, that it's this flat out war. And not pulling no punches. We've devastated that country for years economically. I don't know what they're planning to do here, but I feel like a blow is going to happen and hit America. I don't see how it can't. How are you going to go around picking all these fights and like somebody out there not do something? And even if not, it sets the stage for them to have a staged event. Easy. Why would they miss an opportunity to have a staged event here? To blame on someone, if not. So something's about to go down. So all these cities getting crazy. Minnesota getting crazy. Staying crazy at the moment. We've got an incident here where a federal agent opens fire after an illegal alien tries to run him over. Very similar type of situation again, where the car is the weapon during an immigration operation in LA. And we don't have any footage on that one, but man, I've said this like several times. Now, this week we had an incident where Don Lemon stormed up into a church with a bunch of people, and it was like obviously all staged as could get. He knew in advance, and he's even busted on footage showing that he had foreknowledge of all the stuff that just went down with this church thing. And they're talking about charges against him. But then other people are saying no, even though they're saying, like this lady here is going to say there's charges they're seeking against them. As long as they were allowed to be there, then it was all just a staged event. Then if, you know, there was no skirmish and no major laws broke, and there was points made that like the music kept playing the whole time they were there, the service continued the whole time that they were there. The pastor never told him to get out. Like, what? Like, how staged was this? You know, how, you know, to what degree? But man, there's always something going on.
We will pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this? All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is a act that was passed in 1871, correction there, to combat the Ku Klux Klan and protect African Americans' voting rights, especially the Enforcement Act, which is known as the Force Act. So here's some of the information on screen. Would you mind breaking down for us, because we have just read the FACE Act and how this is an affinity to the FACE Act, an obvious and egregious demonstrable violation of the FACE Act, because they were entering a place of worship, harassing and threatening. We just played a video of a man, a bearded man, who was threatening to attack the Christians that were worshiping there. So it seems like an obvious FACE Act violation. But the Klan Act here, it is on screen. First time I've heard it mentioned.
Okay. Right. So if there was a threat, then that's a different story. And Deanne, God bless all you guys out there. Everybody carries the church. That's, hey, everywhere you go, the best you can. I feel safer that way. 100%. Knowing that there's a bunch of people, you know, righteous people around that are carrying. That way, if a nutcase comes in, yeah, anybody's got him. The guy closest to the door, the guy in the back row, front row, doesn't matter. Like it's always just, it's safer when you know everybody in your church anyway. It's like that. It's a tight knit thing. That's good. You have to stay protected, man. You have to stay protected. On to this next one. This is one of the guys that participated in the event. And he's basically screaming at Pam Bondi and them saying, look, if you want to come get me, come get me. I don't know what kind of, this guy's popped up several times. You can see his hat says F Trump. He has some valid points in some of the things he says, but you know, the other stuff he says is wild, which is enough to, you know, put him in the nutcase basket, so to speak. And who knows when you start saying things like this. So I'll play this real quick. And then
yesterday, I went into a church with Nakima Armstrong and I protested these white supremacists. A pastor of the church is a fucking ICE leader in the city. How can you be a fucking pastor and be a fucking ICE agent? Fuck them. They want to come after me? Fuck them. How can they live so comfortably while the fucking people from Somalia that are in this country legally, that have fucking citizenship, can't even go to their mosque and pray. How do they deserve any fucking different? Fuck those fucking Nazis. Come and get me, Pam Bondi, you fucking traitorous bitch. All power to the people.
Okay. There you go. Just got a funny feeling that this guy's probably going to catch a... This guy's probably going to catch some charges here because of where he's taking all this. You can see right here, maybe it's time for conservatives to rally in Minneapolis. This is setting the stage for 2.0. I got two of them here, even this one. NGOs, they plan an economic blackout across Minnesota. So get ready. If you live up there and you're not participating, you say that, I don't feed into this. I don't care about the politics. That's on the news, but don't affect me. Well, get ready. They're going to make sure that it affects everyone. They're planning an economic blackout in Minnesota, as they say the state is a test bed for revolution. That's saying a lot. Test bed for revolution. They want it to pop off here. Major. So I wouldn't expect anything less. They're going to go full scale. This summer is this all this is this is going to be interesting, man. I don't know where this is all going to go. It reminds me of watching BLM snowball, get all this energy behind it. And then we had a crazy summer where they burnt everything down. They're predicting that these groups are just now getting going and that they're going to keep this energy. It says right here, the assessment initially forecast that resistant movements have begun to materialize right now in 2026, with mass resistance emerging in 2027 to 2028 ahead of the presidential election. So, like, the roots of all that, it begins now. They're admitting it right now with their plan. So this chaos is going to just keep going. On to some of the global stuff here with the Gaza peace plan that Netanyahu blast. He doesn't want it. He didn't like it. Yeah, how much say they're going to have on this, I don't know. But they're the ones that have gone through here and they've leveled Gaza. And, like, you know, for Trump to come in and make this board, obviously Netanyahu's going to have to agree. Well, he's not agreeing, so to speak. So Trump might want to check that. He's getting all these people on board. He's like, oh, if you got $1 billion, you can be on board. Like, buy your way in. And some of these people, Israel seems to be displeased about. The Pope is one of the most recent people. Pope Leo evaluating an invitation to join the Board of Peace. Of course, he doesn't have to pay nothing, but he just gets an invitation. Don't know if he'll accept it or not. Some people got to pay $1 billion. Some people just get an offer. Trump appoints Rubio, Witkoff, and Kushner, also Tony Blair, which people have a huge problem with, and Kushner and a bunch of them, to this Board of Peace. They're like, how hypocritical and all this stuff. Remember Kushner, and then they just want to transform this place into like the new Dubai. That's their plan for this. And they want to send all the Palestinians now to Somaliland. Okay? So that's what's happening. Putin was offered a seat on the peace board. Interesting. So Trump really extending the olive branch and showing again that he's willing to work with Putin as soon as this whole thing is cleared up. Counting the day. Thank you for the coffees. Much love. God bless. And we've got the Russian media, even the Kremlin here, highlighting that Trump acquiring Denmark as a huge achievement and it'll go down in history as being big. So Russia admitting it. And it just shows, you can see the friendship here growing. It seems like it's waiting. Something's waiting there between Russia and the United States as soon as Ukraine is over with. So with Ukraine here, Kiev only has half the electricity that it needs to function. So they've been pretty much put in the dark. Thousands have been told to evacuate. You can see here, Kiev has received a red danger level alert as a massive drone strike combined with other missiles have isolated Kiev for 3 to 5 days. Dude, they're about smoked. Look at this map. They're ran to the western part of the country. They don't have much of... Look, the main city's about to get took. Soon as this falls, they have them cornered. And of course, they're backed up against NATO allies, Poland, and others over here on the left. But Belarus is buddied up with Russia. So Russia, Belarus. Look, half of Ukraine's gone. Russia's already got it, man. Zelensky needs to go. He skipped Davos because he needs to be watching his tail. He could get hit at any moment. They want to take him out. And Trump is basically saying, if you've got $1 billion, like I said before, you can join the Gaza Peace Board. $1 billion. You're kidding me. Trump also admits that the secret weapon that we used in Venezuela is a sonic weapon and that no one else has anything like it on the planet, just us. And this is interesting. The Nobel Peace Prize basically has come out and said that, like, you can't do what they're trying to do, what Machado's done. Like, I don't know if they're going to try to take it back from her, but they're saying that you cannot pass on the prize to other people. Like, I would feel that you could dedicate it to whoever you want. We all know he didn't officially win it. How they could stop her from doing that, I don't know, but I guess she officially gave it to him, and they're saying, no, that's not happening on the books. And Trump, as we all know, was threatening over Greenland. He was threatening tariffs on everybody. But now, after he went to Davos and gave this big speech at the World Economic Forum, again, a place he should have surrounded and arrested everybody, but he didn't. He has a very productive meeting with NATO, so to speak, and says that they have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland. And it comes down to exactly what I was telling you. They've worked out a bit of a deal where we get, as you can see right here, it says small pockets of land for U.S. bases. And I'm telling you, there's going to be some other stuff tied in. They're working on it, so it's going to happen. Like I said before, it's not going to become the 52nd state, but we just need to get bases set up across it. And then get minerals in return for the protection. And I'm telling you exactly what they're doing. I said it before, and now you're watching it happen. So Trump tells the World Economic Forum the 2020 election was stolen. And this is kind of interesting because it goes, people will be prosecuted for what they did. Okay, big boy, let's see it. You got the Clintons over here that are getting ready to get called up. You're threatening to put people in jail for a stolen election. Do it. Like, it's weird. All these things are happening that, like, again, if a huge event was to happen, they disappear real quick. Gavin Newsom gets shut down trying to enter Davos. It's pretty hilarious. They deny him. Yeah, they're trying to walk to the place, you know, big old hot shot, this and that. They're like, nope, you're not entering. He's like, what the? He rips Trump, rips everybody else, but pretty funny though. He don't get in. And then a comment was made from Howard Lutnick in front of everybody, and I think that it sets the tone for where they're going with this. He basically flat out says that globalization has failed the West for all this time. So they're shifting gears. They're going in a different direction. And where that direction is, it looks like we're breaking off into a multipolar world order. Canada, all kinds of people have said the same thing. And Canada is leaning with going with China, which is crazy. What this means is, like, we're not going to have dominance over the whole globe like we have before. And we're, like, allowing this. We're doubling back to protect the Western Hemisphere, first and foremost. And not so much concerned about the rest of the world. That's the move that we're making. And it means that the rest of the world can really fall under influence of whoever wants to step up and take control of it, which is very interesting. Because if we're trying to wash our hands with Ukraine, just to be done with it, and to be also cool with Russia, but then we're also trying to slide out of NATO, not that we want to be enemies with the EU and all those countries, but we're not going to be a part of all the crap and be the military muscle there. We're going to be over here defending our own neck of the woods. You guys are on your own. And many are saying that the EU ain't going to be able to do it. That now they should be scared because China and Russia can kind of have their way with them. And that's crazy. They're going to learn the hard way then. And the Greenlanders come out mocking America. Look at this. Because of all the fentanyl, they take to social media, and this is what they're doing all over the place. They're posting photos of people folded over like they're on fentanyl. Like this. Bringing American culture to Greenland, like clowning it. Feel like we don't want that. I can't blame them in that aspect. But that's kind of crazy. But what else are they going to do? Dude, don't know the military. What were they going to do? Germany sent 15 soldiers there, and they already packed up and they left. It's all laughable. And Denmark skipped Davos. This whole thing. Germany was threatening to boycott the Olympics. Canada was going to send troops to Greenland. All the stuff. Trump came out and issued a warning to Canada, though, apparently at the World Economic Forum here.
Going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Canada lives because of the United States. Like, he acts like a total boss dictator, straight up, of the globe. I'm telling you, when the rabbis came out and they told him he's a Gentile Messiah and they gave him a silver crown and all this, it went to his freaking head. Like, I mean, he's gone around everywhere. You've never seen no one do what this dude is doing, going country to country like, you bow down, bow down, bow down. Oh, yeah, you got cocaine mills? Oh, yeah, you doing this, doing that? Like, if you don't bow down, he turns his guns on you. Like, it's nuts. Or even threatens. Greenland was different than any other country thus far because they're kind of squeaky clean with their reputation. They don't have drug mills up there and all that, like Colombia and their reputation. So the whole world was like, hold on, that's a NATO ally. Like, what are you doing? Like, you've gone too far. And then Trump comes out and goes, I was never going to use the military. I would never use the military. I wouldn't do it. And saying all this stuff, it's like, well, you threatened. This is why I told you he boss hogs. He strong arms like boss hog. He comes in strong arming everything. He threatens everyone to get his way. Because that's what they do. He bullies. And in the end, he comes out to compromise. So he can get you to where he wants you. Soften you up. You know, it's all part of how he rolls, man. And like, they love it. He's just going around world leader, checking them. Like, look, bow down, bow down, bow down. So Trump suggests for the first time, and we'll wrap it up on this. He suggests for the first time that Iran regime change should happen. You heard it earlier when Ted Cruz is out giving interviews and he's saying all this crap, and then Trump just comes out and for the first time ever says it. You should expect that by this summer, it's going down. Like, Khomeini's days are numbered. Like, I can't tell you if it'll be this year, this month, or what it's going to be. But the plan is the cat's out of the bag. Next time you hear protests firing up on the ground, big time in Iran, I'm going to tell you, that's the go. They probably won't take their foot off the gas this time. This time, they will go. I'm telling you. Only other option would be just a strike out of nowhere, which is still possible. Which would be more shocking, but if they thought that they could decapitate, strike, take him out, wipe him out, take out a bunch of leadership and just be done with it, they would do it. You know, they've shown they'll do a number of different things to get their guy. Whether it's going down and getting them in the flesh, kidnapping them, or ripping the whole country apart and chasing the leader down in the streets, like they did Gaddafi, you know, or finding them in a foxhole like he did Saddam. But these world leaders I don't think they want that. A lot of them, I think, are buckling. They're gonna either do what Trump says, or they're gonna feel the wrath, man. So interesting summer ahead of us, and I think that Iran gets it. They're gonna get hit hard. I'd watch Cuba. I'd watch Iran and all these little war fronts that he's stirring up. I don't see Greenland as being anything military. I think that they'll wrap up a deal there. I think Mexico, they're kind of saving here for like once it pops in Mexico, it's gonna get pretty nasty. I think it's going to get pretty nasty. It could before then. Remember, we got Ecuador. We got a couple other little countries here. They're going to work their way up through in Central America and check them off the list. They're either bowing down, Honduras, all these places, they're bowing down, working with Trump, or they're going to feel their ire. It's like you either work with them and let them come up into your country and let their military do whatever they want, or the military is going to pound you out and come in there and do whatever they want. So it's kind of like, again, he's just forcing himself. I'm sure some of these other countries like this, don't even mention us, but it's coming. They're locking down the entire North American block. in Israel, the whole thing, all the control down there with the Argentina, Patagonia, and all that. It's like you're really starting to surround Brazil. Brazil is like the last one big chunk left there. Like they'd be on their own at that point. I don't know, interesting, man. Like things are changing and shaping up daily. We'll see what happens here, I guess. Where we at already? Coming up, you're telling me we went live at 8 tonight. That's 3 hours just flew by. Again, and I went live early, and there's 3 hours in the books. Man. All right, guys, man. Be safe out there. We'll work on shutting this one down. I'll look to be back here on Friday. And I might stick with this slot here. I will. We'll try Friday again, 8 o'clock. Worst case, it'd be 9, but I'm going to aim for 8 and try to knock it out normal time, the Patagonia gin. Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? Like, there's so much crazy stuff going on out there. Like, I pray to the Most High that we all had more time to get to know one another and to explore this planet for what it is, to know our true history, to do some things, see it for what it is instead of just being slaves. Anyhow, still working on trying to have a conference. I did a poll and had a bunch of you say that you would come. So for all of you that said that you would come, I'm working on getting that together still. So hang tight. I'm hoping here within the next month or so, I have something locked in. Sometimes these things, they take time. I'm aiming for the latter half of the summer. Just put it that way. If one's going to go down. Okay. In Florida, where everybody said they wanted voted. So that's where it will be. And I'll let you know more if we get something locked in. I put out a bunch of feelers and trying to get a bunch of prices and things like that back. It takes time. So, yeah. Much love to everybody out there. Thank you for supporting the show, for sharing. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Right here, Davos 77. And much love. Hope you guys, I don't know, I kind of like the 8 o'clock slot here. It may be the new thing for sure. Yeah. Florida's a long way from Montana. Well, catch a flight, so I could say. I don't know what else to do. I'd love to come out west. It's just not going to happen this year. Trust me, I've got a lot to do out west. I got a plate full. It's on the list. Okay, it's just not going to happen this year. If I'm going to do a conference, it's one of them. So we're going with the conference. I'm going to try. A get together, a meeting, a conference, whatever you want to call it. Conference. And I can't wait to see someone. Can't wait to see someone. That's the main thing. Getting to meet people. Time is short. How many other events or other chances are you going to get to meet good people? Okay? Huh? I'm 45. You call that young if you want, but I ain't getting any younger. Okay, so. And RIP to all my cats that have passed away. I was able to meet some good souls that have passed away, and I only met them because they came to the conference. R.I.P. Caroline May. Fly high. enough to you for everything, so much. One day. In the legendary Eon. Thank you so much, man. I feel bad, honestly. I feel bad some of you guys are always stepping up and supporting, like, look, when no one else does. I thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you know. Much love. God bless everyone.